Before we fly back home, we are embarking on an 18-hour visit to Tianjin. Join us on our exploration through China's 7th largest city as we hunt for renowned local delicacies.
Smells so delicious.
Boy, stop pushing the umbrella. It's a cold and rainy day. Today we are going to head from Beijing to Tianjin, but first we are going to get one last meal in Beijing.
At this small little eatery, it's super crowded. There's just a lot of people, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Excited to try.
Char, it's still very early. What are we going to do?
I do not know. It's better to be early than to be late. Why do we look like we are doing long-term traveling? Huh? I got so many things on.
It's my camera. Maybe you should switch to a smaller camera.
我建议您啊，到了天津，找他天津的老字号的饭馆，那个很有味道。
We made it to the terminal and we are going to take the high-speed rail to Tianjin.
We decided to come to this Catholic church. It looks pretty out of the ordinary. It doesn't look like any other architecture that is prevalent in Tianjin. So, shall we go in? Unfortunately, they are just chasing us out of the cathedral, so I don't think we can actually go in.
Just tutu kueh.
That kueh tutu is gorgeous. A little bit different from the ones that we see in Singapore, because the ones in Singapore is like sesame paste, but this one, they have a lot of jam and condiments. Super interesting.
I'm going to try the chocolate one first. It's kind of cakey and kind of dry, but it's like a very comfortable snack.
Definitely a lot less starchy than the ones in Singapore. And then you add the different flavors on top of it. It tastes pretty delicious. The sauces definitely carries a lot of the flavor. You couldn't really taste the original flavor of the rice flour. But overall it's still pretty good.
Sorry for the blinking light because we are standing in front of a stall hiding from the rain and there's like advertisements all around. We've been seeing this all around and we were so excited to try. We finally found one that had no queue and we got it immediately. Honestly, there's not much we can do here in Tianjin because it has been raining the whole day. So we're just walking around the city, trying to feel the city and take in the vibes.
Walking down this Binjiang street, I think it's even more lively than Wangfujing. Wangfujing, when we went there at night, there's not a lot of people and the streets were like quite quiet in the first place. I think this street here, there's so much activity, more bustling, and more shops than Wangfujing.
Boy, stop pushing the umbrella.
I I've never been to a Starbucks Reserve before, and I didn't know that Starbucks Reserve actually sells alcohol.
We are now walking along Haihe, which is a river that cuts through Tianjin, and it's super peaceful, and the bridges look very pretty.
Super nice, super beautiful. 太美了. Tianjin feels like a Europe light. I think it's super beautiful because all of these European architecture here seems to have been influenced by some old colonial superpower.
Right now we are at Gujie, which is the old street in Tianjin.
It's literally like a small little 生煎包 with like 2 centimeters big. Oh. So we got 狗不理包子 and this is it. If you ask me if the 狗不理包子 actually tastes better than the baozi I have in Singapore, I can tell you hands down that like the ones in Singapore is so much better. Maybe it's just me that the baozi I've eaten growing up tastes so much more familiar, and I couldn't really feel like that same level of juiciness.
The baos are just different. It's not that one is nicer than the other. I think we are just more used to the baos in Singapore. This is called Gui Hua Gao. This cake is something I wanted to try ever since I saw it for the first time about a week ago. It's this like very thin slice of yellow cake with I think like a piece of red date on top, and they slathered it with honey.
It has a very sticky glutinous rice flavor, but like I don't think it's actually glutinous rice. It's actually some form of rice flour.
I don't know why, but I was expecting the cake to be warm. It's not warm, it's actually quite cold. And it's slightly sweet from the layer of honey glazed on it.
This smells so good already. I waited so patiently for this, and finally the yang rou chuan smells so delicious. They added so much spices, I really love it. Luckily I didn't choose the spicy flavor.
This kind of reminds me of the lamb satay that we had at Solo City.
But of course it is a much larger version than the satay that we had in Solo City.
We are about to get the last breakfast in Tianjin, and then we'll be heading to the airport.